Millennium News 24/7 Daily Politics News Update. I am with you, Azreen Abrar, and let us begin with our news update. Donald Trump and his top rivals for the GOP presidential nomination took the stage one by one Friday night to address an influential gathering of Iowa Republicans, with none of the top-tier hopefuls mentioning that new federal charges had been filed against the former president just a day earlier. Instead, Trump's competitors mostly reserved their sharpest criticism for President Joe Biden and a Democratic Party they argued had lost touch with mainstream America, failing to pounce on additional counts over Trump's retention of classified documents that might have otherwise been an opportunity to cut into his comfortable early lead in the polls. Next news. Leading up to the 2020 election, Facebook ads targeting Latino and Asian American voters described Joe Biden as a communist. A local station claimed a Black Lives Matter co-founder practiced witchcraft. Doctored images showed dogs urinating on Donald Trump's campaign posters. None of these claims was true, but they scorched through social media sites that advocates say have fueled election misinformation in communities of color. As the 2024 election approaches, community organizations are preparing for what they expect to be a worsening onslaught of disinformation targeting communities of color and immigrant communities. They say the tailored campaigns challenge assumptions of what kinds of voters are susceptible to election conspiracies and distrust in voting systems. Next news. Pamela Smith's voice soared and quivered like a preacher in mid-sermon as she recalled her troubled childhood and how it helped prepare her for the challenges she faces as the new police chief in the nation's capital. I stand before you as a child who had no hopes, who had no dreams. They were far beyond my reach, but I believe that all things are possible, she said at her introductory news conference in Washington, in cadences honed by years as an ordained Baptist minister. I believe I bring a fresh perspective, a different kind of energy, a different level of passion to what I'm going to do. Next news. Lawmakers broke for their August recess this week with work on funding the government largely incomplete, fueling worries about whether Congress will be able to avoid a partial government shutdown this fall. Congress has until October 1st, the start of the new fiscal year, to act on government funding. They could pass spending bills to fund government agencies into next year or simply pass a stopgap measure that keeps agencies running until they strike a long-term agreement. No matter which route they take, it won't be easy. We're going to scare the hell out of the American people before we get this done, said Senator Chris Coons. A short break from the daily politics news update of Millennium News 24/7. Stay tuned and I will be back with you, Azreen Abrar, shortly.
Welcome to the world of Millennium News 24. We bring news, we analyze news, and we make a bridge between you and the eventful world. 24/7 Millennium News 24 team is at your service. Don't miss today's America, Editorial Today, and Global Democracy with host Tofader Noor. You also won't want to miss Todd Goldfinger's show, Goldfinger Music Hour, Noon News with host Todd Goldfinger. And to stay connected with all top and trending news, don't even miss Millennium News Hour with host Tanziba Nouri. Millennium News 24 is available to be watched free for all LED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV. And also in all European countries and Australia, available with the Sky Network, Worldwide Jadoo TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Millennium TV 24 News, news you need to know.
Welcome back to Millennium News 24/7 Daily Politics News Update, and as promised, I am back with you, Azreen Abrar, and let us resume with our news update. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Saturday pushed back against Australian demands for an end to WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange's prosecution, saying the Australian citizen was accused of very serious criminal conduct in publishing a trove of classified documents more than a decade ago. Australia's centre-left Labour Party government has been arguing since winning the elections last year that the United States should end its pursuits of the 52-year-old who has spent 4 years in a British prison fighting extradition to the United States. Assange's freedom is widely seen as a test of Australia's leverage with President Joe Biden's administration. Next news. A top Pentagon official has attacked this week's widely watched congressional hearing and UFOs, calling the claims insulting to employees who are investigating sightings and accusing a key witness of not cooperating with the official U.S. government investigation. Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick's letter, published on his personal LinkedIn page and circulated Friday across social media, criticizes much of the testimony from a retired Air Force intelligence officer that energized believers in extraterrestrial life and produced headlines around the world. Retired Air Force David Grush testified Wednesday that the U.S. has concealed what he called a multi-decade program to collect and reverse engineer UAPs, or unidentified aerial phenomena, the official government terms for UFOs. Next news. The troubled brother of the late NFL player Aaron Hernandez was charged Friday, now in federal court, with new counts of threatening and stalking after authorities say he threatened to shoot up the University of Connecticut and kill 3 people in another state. Dennis Hernandez was ordered to be held in custody after his appearance in the court in Hartford. A message seeking comment was sent Friday night to his attorney. The new charges came days after it emerged that Hernandez was arrested July 18th on state charges after police said he threatened to kill officers and then urged them to shoot him at his home in Bristol. Officers had gone there after 2 people close to him raised concerns about his mental health, police said. Next news. U.S. Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina has criticized fellow Republican presidential candidate and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for supporting new standards that require teachers to instruct middle school students that slaves developed skills that could be applied for their personal benefit. What slavery was really about was separating families, about mutilating humans and even raping their wives. It was just devastating. Scott, the sole black Republican in the Senate, told reporters on Thursday after a town hall in Ankeny. So I would hope that every person in our country, and certainly running for president, would appreciate that. People have bad days, Scott added. Sometimes they regret what they say, and we should ask them again to clarify their positions. A short break from the daily politics news of Millennium News 24/7. Stay tuned and I will be back with you again shortly. Azreen Abrar. Hello everyone, I am with you, Azreen Abrar, and you are watching American Political News Update. This show can be platformed globally in all platforms, including all smart TV platforms, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and also you can search up www.millenniumnews24.com/live and watch it there as well. Thank you for being with us. I'm again Azreen Abrar, and I hope to see you guys every Saturday. Thank you. Welcome back to Millennium News 24/7 Daily Politics News Update, and as promised, I am back with you, Azreen Abrar, and let us continue with our news update. Toshihiro Mutsuda was only 5 years old when he last saw his father, who was drafted by Japan's Imperial Army in 1943 and killed in action. For him, his father was a bespectacled man in an old family photo standing by a signed good luck flag that he carried on war. On Saturday, when the flag was returned to him from a U.S. War Museum where it had been on display for 29 years, Mutsuda, now 83, said, "It's a miracle." The flag, known as Yusegagi Hinomaru, or good luck flag, carries the soldier's name, Shigeyoshi Mutsuda, and the signatures of his relatives, friends, and neighbors wishing him luck. It was given to him before he was drafted by the army. His family was later told he died in Saipan, but his remains were never returned. Next news. Colombian police arrested the president's son Saturday as part of a high-profile money laundering probe into funds he allegedly collected from convicted drug traffickers during last year's presidential campaign. President Gustavo Petro, a former rebel who rose through Colombia's political ranks as an anti-corruption crusader, said he would not interfere with the investigation. "As an individual and father, it pains me to see so much self-destruction in one of my sons going to jail," Petro said in an early morning message on the X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. "As President of the Republic, I've assured the Chief Prosecutor's Office that it will have all the guarantees so it can proceed according to the law." Next news. Japan's Foreign Minister Yoshimasa Hayashi said Saturday that Sri Lanka is a key partner in a Tokyo-led initiative aimed at building security and economic cooperation around the Indo-Pacific, but also at countering an increasingly assertive China. Sri Lanka, strategically located in the Indian Ocean, is integral to realizing a free and open Indo-Pacific, Hayashi said. He was speaking after a meeting with his Sri Lankan counterpart Ali Sabri in the capital Colombo. The initiative, announced by Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida in March, includes Japan's assistance to emerging economies, support for maritime security, a provision of Coast Guard patrol boards, and equipment and other infrastructure cooperation. Next news. A group of Indian opposition lawmakers on Saturday visited a remote northeastern state where deadly ethnic clashes have killed at least 130 people in a bid to pressure the government to take action against the violence which began in May. The delegation of 20 lawmakers from 15 political parties who are part of a new opposition alliance called India arrived in Manipur state for a 2-day visit to assess the situation on the ground as the ongoing violence and bloodshed have displaced tens of thousands in recent months. The conflict in Manipur has become a global issue due to the scale of violence, said Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, a lawmaker belonging to the opposition Congress Party. Our delegation is here to express solidarity with the people of Manipur in this time of distress. The top priority now is to restore normalcy as soon as possible, he added. This was in the daily politics news update of Millennium News 24/7. Log in to get the latest news. All our social networking site, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok is Millennium News 24. Also, our YouTube channel is News Channel M24. Viewers now on both network broadcasting Android and iOS devices, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, also all smart TV platforms. Please enjoy our entertainment and latest news and views. Our Millennium TV apps, Millennium TV USA Android, Millennium News Google, www.millenniumtv24.com. Stay with Millennium News 24. Thank you.
Five judges on the nation's highest electoral court agreed that Bolsonaro used government communication channels to promote his campaign and sowed distrust about the vote. Two judges voted against the move. This decision will end Bolsonaro's chances of being president again, and he knows it, said Carlos Melo, a political